Well, hello there. This is your favorite mapper, Kyiv Mapping. Today we're going to be describing the story of my contests. Yeah, that's right. Over the course of my 3-year career, I've done many contests, and I haven't really given any prizes out for them. So that's why I'm making this quick video. Now, I'm not going to go too much into detail with how these contests sort of went, since these videos are more just me going off of stuff non-scripted and talking about them a bit. But I will describe some of the amazing, engaging competitions I've had, or I've done over the years. Now, the first one I would like to talk about is the Vatican City meme contest. Yes, Vatican City had a meme contest, and it was a very glorious one. Now, this one is pretty early in my career. I think it was like done right after Part 7 of Vatican came out, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a meme contest, and I announced it on my YouTube, and I was like, yo, you guys should go to my Discord if you want to participate in this amazing competition. And I think that's where my first Kiev and Rus got a lot of its viewer base. And I remember the first Kiev and Rus. It was probably the best server I actually had. Out of all the servers I've hosted, that's definitely the best one. It sucks that I had to delete it, or I didn't have to delete it. I just deleted it because Wonder told me to. It was weird. But basically, the competition was to make any sort of meme you can, and I just gave out some meme formats, and I called it a day. Now, unfortunately, I don't recall any of the submissions, and I don't think I have any of them on me, unfortunately. If I do ever find some of these submissions, because I think I remember saving them somewhere, if I do ever find these submissions again, I will make a follow-up video on this one. Alright, guys? Now, the second competition I hosted throughout my career happened sometime between 2018 and I think 2019. I think it was part of the MGE. It might have been a part of it. It might have been a part of the second server. No, it was definitely part of the MGE because it was a Kyiv fan art competition. And I believe some of these were made by the lovely old members of the Mappers Galactic Empire, which is a server that's no longer with us, unfortunately. These I do have the submissions for, and I will show them right here. Kyiv's YouTube channel 2020. Hey guys, it's me, your favorite mapper, Kyiv Mapping. Today, episode 4827 of Alternate Future of Vatican, Revenge of the Soviets. And then we have some guy in the background. I have no idea who this man is. He looks very important though. I believe the submission was actually by Kiwi. This is a second submission involving me being portrayed as Sans Undertale. Now this is in fact a very realistic submission because I am in fact Sans Undertale. Let me prove to you why I'm Sans Undertale. Number one, I'm incredibly lazy. I get no videos done. I get none of my work done. Number two, he has the glowing blue and yellow eye. And blue and yellow are trademark colors of the Kyiv mapping. And number three, he's a very funny man. You're supposed to be laughing now. Here's another one involving me pointing a gun at the circle tours. And I think this next submission was by American, and I actually really like this submission. I like the picture of Earth, and I think sort of I remember it going a bit like better with the I remember the country ball going a bit better with the background, but it still looks really nice, I think. And this was the runner-up for the competition. I believe this was by Kezer, I think. And this is a funny, this is literally Viewer Wars in a nutshell, guys. This is the perfect representation for the first 3 parts of Viewer Wars. Now, thankfully after part 3, this didn't happen nearly as often. But remember, there was just people going Hey, Kyiv mapping, can I be in the viewer wars, please? There's still some people today that are like this, but not nearly as much as there used to be. And of course, in first place, we have this amazing submission by Greenball, depicting me. I think that's a Halloween version of me. It's probably that or a anarchist version of me. I don't know which one. So close Vatican and can I even still talk about this? But yeah, this was probably the most well done. It wasn't the most well done submission, but it was definitely my favorite out of the bunch. So yeah, shoutouts to Greenball Mapper for winning the competition. His prize for it is a personal shout out from me, from my remaining 100 viewers. We interrupt this program to give you a Kyiv mapping and Holy Sealandic brawl moment.
I got green in the end though.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm gonna go in.
Let's go in.
Oh no!
Watch him.
Go on.
Get him. Get in regardless.
Yeah,
And,
no way.
and oh my god! And he had golems.
Yo,
That man's
did
smart.
he just take all of us?
Yeah, I did. I was stuck in the corner.
And finally, we have the granddaddy of the Kyiv mapping competitions. That's right. We're going to be talking about the Planet Rudolph competition. Now, if you guys are unfamiliar with the Planet Rudolph competition, I don't blame you. It was a competition I had a while back. It was probably the last competition I did. It was on the second Neo-Kievan Russ I did. It was a simple contest with a simple premise. There's this new planet called Rudolph, and you have to fill it up with nations. The rules were it must include at least 10 nations, the continents must not be altered, and it must have been submitted before February 10th, even though the winners for that weren't announced until 6 months later. This is me, ladies and gentlemen. This is your favorite mapper at work here. Now, this is the only competition where I actually have the full list of submissions for this, but I'm only going to describe the top 4 because I said in the initial post that I would only go over the top 4. Number 4 would have to be by, of course, again, Kezer, and he makes this a very nice map, very neat, very clean. The only issue with it is that there's not really much to it. It contains, I think, the bare minimum, and that's why it's only number 4 here, but is by far the cleanest map. Number 3 was by Fistsa, and this is probably the biggest map in terms of sheer lore. I know he came up with a sheer amount of lore for this, and it's not enough for me to describe in this one video, but it's a lot, so I think I'll leave a bit of it in the description for you to read. Second place went to, I think it was Diamond Dick who came up with this, and he came up with this sort of neat premise, and he also added quite a little bit of lore, not nearly as much as number 3 spot, but it was still an extensive amount of lore, and I'll also leave that in the description. Now, when it came to coming up with the number 1 spot, it was not an easy task. I had to choose between Diamond Dick and this other fellow. And in the end, I decided to go with Californium's submission here. And I'm actually going to read this one out because it's number 1 spot, and I feel like you guys deserve to hear it from my voice personally. The year is 3019 AD. All nations on Earth have united into the United World Order. They began colonization of the solar systems decades ago. They soon discovered technology capable of enough to take them to faraway destinations. However, the United World Order began falling apart during the colonization. Many Mexican, Americans, Chinese, Russian, and Germans have already completed the colonization of Rudolph. However, they soon started dividing into different factions, and eventually different nations. Population is 1.4 billion. The ethnicities is 25% Mexican, 14% Russian, 12% American, 10% Chinese, 9% German, and 30% others. The thing that really got me here was the very simple and straightforward lore here, and I really liked reading through it, even though it was probably a bit cliche, and now thinking back on it, the other 2 submissions probably had better lore, in my opinion, but I think I just for its simplicity, I can see why I put it in the number one spot. I'll also leave that down in the description for you guys to read. So yeah, that's my history of Kyiv mapping competitions. Next, I've been thinking about doing taking up some old Q&A questions, but honestly, I don't think that's really going to be interesting in my opinion. Uh, Main reason why is because a lot of the old questions were mostly just opinions on certain countries and like dumb memes. I might do some a video on some of the better questions, but realistically, I don't think I'm gonna do a video on something like that. Something I don't really wanna talk about. But yeah, that's basically all I have to do. In terms of what videos next, Oceania Part 6 will likely be coming out next, unless Friday turns out to be a bitch for me. And I will see you until then, my friends.